Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father's true name, and Yahweh Shai is whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. That's his true name. I'm also going to give double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who rule and teach well in the scriptures, and salutations to all the Akim out there that's pushing this word in all truth and all sincerity. And this is going to be another installment of America is Falling, and this article is entitled, Neither Good Nor Easy to Win. EU, China gear up for trade war with U.S. All right, so, you have these trade wars that are happening, all right, with America and its allies. And trade wars eventually lead up to physical wars. It always happens. And, recently you had Donald Trump state that he wants to implement these tariffs on basically these metals, okay? And that's going to affect a lot of European countries and China, all right? And also other countries as well, like I know Canada is getting affected, Mexico. A lot of people are getting affected, but the main two players are China and, those in the European Union, okay? Now we're going to read this article. Europe and China, Salaki, it says, European and Chinese officials are firing shots across America's bow over plans by the Trump administration to impose protectionist tariffs on its steel and aluminum imports. A trade war looms as a result. President Donald Trump is expected to set tariffs of 25% on imported steel and 10% on imported aluminum this week. If given the green light, they are likely to come into effect within 2 months. That's a very short time period. Okay, so if this gets the green light, within 2 months, we're going to see these tariffs, and that's going to cause, a huge chain reaction. A lot of jobs are going to be, they're going to be affected. There's going to be loss of jobs in Europe, China, and elsewhere. You're going to have these allies. They're going to, lose more respect for America. Their hatred towards America is going to grow. And this is all biblical prophecy, okay? Because we're going to get Revelation 17. And this has been coming out a lot because we're living in that time period where these nations, all right, where the beast is going to hate the whore, okay? All right? And these other nations that were confederate with these Americans, this American system, they're going to turn their back against it, okay? Trump promoted the looming protectionist measures by bragging on Twitter that trade wars were good and easy to win. And that just shows that, America is is very pompous. He's the most stout amongst his fellows. It just shows you how proud this place is, okay, and how proud Trump is, and basically Americans in general. See, because Americans are so used to winning everything, because in history America had that power and dominion over the whole earth. But see, the thing is, now America is on its decline. It's been on its decline for a while, but we're really at the last, the last days of this kingdom being in rulership. Okay, yeah, back in the day it was good and easy to win, but now it's not. A lot of these countries have, they have alliances with Russia and other nations. And also those allies with America are becoming very angry with this place now, and they're not going to allow this to continue. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. Officials in China and European nations whose industries would be hurt by the U.S. move are warning this may not be the case. The truth is, trade wars are bad and easy to lose. The EU's goal is to keep world trade alive and is and if necessary to protect European sick by proportionate responses. All right, and that's what's happening too. All these countries, they're not dealing with this whole globalism. Okay, there's a lot of nationalism being pushed now because globalism isn't working. This whole new world order is basically, you know, it's failing because there's always got to be a ruler. Okay, no matter what, and there's always going to be those at the bottom. That's just the way things work in the world. Okay. And these European nations are getting really frustrated with this because they're getting the short end of the stick out of everything America does. European Commissioner President Donald Tusk said on Wednesday in response to Trump's remark, the EU would find thousands of jobs in jeopardy if Washington's import tariffs affect the Union. Trade Commissioner Cecilia Malmstrom said the Europeans would target U.S. products such as whiskey, peanut butter, orange juice, and motorcycles in retaliation, which a worth about $3.5 billion in trade annually. So that's gonna furthermore affect this economy here in America. You already have the retail apocalypse going on, so this is just gonna hurt this place even more. China, which is believed to be in the primary target of Trump's looming trade war, warned that trade wars also harm the initiator. Okay, exactly. America's gonna get affected by this. As for our trade frictions, history teaches that trade war is never the right solution. In the globalized world, it is particularly unhelpful as it will harm the initiator as well as the target country, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said. Given today's globalization, choosing a trade war is a mistaken prescription. The outcome would only be harmful, he added on the sidelines of an annual meeting of the National Parliament. China would have to make a justified and necessary response. Exactly. Eventually, these countries are just gonna start war with America, but that's what America wants, so they can justify this this World War III. Okay, because you have the Petro Yuan, which is about to take place very soon. It's about to be initiated. You know, the countries are going to start using it. All right. So basically, these petrodollars that all these other nations have been using for so long, they're going to be shipped back here to the United States, which is going to cause hyperinflation here, which is ultimately going to crash this place. So America has to do something to start war with these other nations, okay? That's why you have a lot of proxy wars going on. You have things like this, these trade wars going on. All right, so it's going to give America, because what's going to happen is these other nations are going to force to retaliate, as a China spokesman just said. The Chinese spokesman said, and that's going to give America that they're going to be justified and why they have to why war is going on. Okay, they're going to use their media to propagate things, and these Americans out here, they're so foolish, they're going to go with it. They have no clue what's going on. Okay. So they're going to go with it. All right, I'm going to keep reading. Beijing did not hint how exactly it would retaliate for curbing its metal trade with the U.S., but U.S. products like soybeans, aircrafts, and cars are likely to be targeted for counter tariffs, according to many observers. However, China is known to have previously used economic measures against U.S. allies. For instance, it hit the South Korean tourism and retail industries last year after Seoul, Salaki, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, agreed to host American anti-ballistic missiles on its territory, a move that Beijing called a threat to national security. Trump, who was a vocal critic of China during his election campaign over allegedly unfair business practices, did not rush into launching any open trade confrontation with Beijing after taking office. But his administration is also considering trade sanctions against China over alleged infringement of intellectual property and barriers that the Chinese market have for American businesses. Trump's economic advisor, Gary Cohn, resigned his position in the White House on Wednesday in what is speculated to be a protest against a tariff plan. Cohen is an advocate of free trade. Okay, now we're gonna get these scriptures. Revelation 17:16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, and the 10 horns is the European Union. Okay, and that's what it represents. And the beast represents NATO, because you have, NATO is a collection of, you got countries in Europe, America, Canada, etc. Okay, that are are involved in that. And how it said, these shall hate the whore, and the whore is America. The whore is America. That's that woman that rideth upon the beast. Okay, basically, which it symbolizes that America controls everything. Okay, they control what basically European movements, and I'll use the word influences. Okay, so on and so forth, and shall make. But it says here, it shall make her desolate and naked. It shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay, because these nations, they're getting frustrated. They're getting tired. They're getting the short end of the stick, and they're hating the whore now. So eventually, they're gonna actually turn their missiles onto America at some point, and we're seeing the beginning steps of this. Okay, for the Most High Yahweh hath put it in their hearts to fulfill His will and to agree and give their kingdoms unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. So this is all happening because the Heavenly Father wants these things to be done. Okay? A man's goings are the way of the Lord. All right? And the woman, that's in Proverbs. And the woman which thou sawest in that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the great whore. Okay? And that great city is America. All right? And I'm going to get Obadiah 1 and 7. Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. Okay? So all these men that were in confederacy with you and that were at peace with you, they've deceived you. Okay? They're planning on attacking America. Okay? America really doesn't have allies like that anymore. Like, put it like this: there's America has a lot of frenemies, man. Friends that are really enemies now. Okay? Because these other nations are waiting to attack this place, man. Okay? They're tired of this American imperialism. Okay? They're tired of it. That's why you have things as, the BRICS nations being formed. You have all these nations that are starting to get away from the U.S. That's why the U.S. is panicking right now. Okay? The only real friend that America has is Israel. That's it. So it's basically Israel and the United States versus the rest of the world. America is very isolated now. They even showed that in Time magazine. One of the it was recent. I think it was last month, if I'm not mistaken. The cover of Time magazine had America by itself in the ocean, surrounded by all the other nations, and that's happening right before our eyes. Okay, which is a beautiful thing. Hey, America is falling, man. This place is not how it used to be. It's not America the Great anymore. We're at the end of this this kingdom, okay? America's rule, and ultimately Esau Edom, the so-called white man's rule. It's falling, man. Okay? And with that, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle and elders at Great Millstone, and salutations to you.